Hi, my name is Kennedy Onassis Cuevas. I am from the Inland Empire. Right now I'm based in San Bernardino. So a couple projects that I've done that I really like people to know about. One is my project that I filmed, that I wrote and directed and starred in was Oh Grief. It means a lot to me. And it's going to be presented at this year's Inland Film Festival. My good friends at Future First helped me make that film, and I'm very thankful for that. I've collaborated with a lot of good people in the film community out here in the IE, and Oh Grief for me was sort of my endeavor into that. I've acted for many years, but it was my first time actually like taking helm of a project and making something from my own mind, getting it out there. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that specific project. So Oh Grief is more or less about the grieving in any general aspect. You can grieve a conversation missed. You can grieve a person that might not even be completely gone. It's a potential of something that could be there. For instance, Oh Grief is very personal to me, but it's not about one in particular moment in my life. It's about just the feeling of wanting to have that closure, maybe not getting it. So my primary thing is acting, and I think that's a very interesting approach to filmmaking, especially if you're writing and directing a film, because every time that I've written or directed, I've always been performance-based. I always think about what it's going to sound like. For instance, the dialogue is what comes first to me when I write. I may think of just a phrase or a conversation or a sentence, and then I'll think of the delivery and how an actor might feel delivering that line, and that is the expansion of the rest of the script, whereas I think a lot of directors will think about like the vision, the picture on a camera, how it's going to look like to an audience, where the writer might think about setting an environment and just the flow and general arc. I always start off with the performance. So for me, I trust everybody that works with me in film, like my cinematographer, if I have a co-director, if I have a lighting person, like I trust their vision just as much because I'm only looking at it from the perspective of an actor. So I have to keep in mind that the way I write and the way I direct always needs to have that other component that other creatives can bring in.
So let's think big picture right now.
Right.
Let's imagine it's 10, 15, 20 years in the future. Kennedy has made it. He's a Hollywood big shot, whether it's actor, director, writer, all those things you like to do. Let's say you've already gone forward and you've made like 3, 4, 5 features by now. You're well on your way. You're making it. You're in your career. What is going to be the thing that people could say like, oh man, that's what makes it a Kennedy movie?
I think for me, keep in mind, I'm still alive in the future, right? Like I can't tell the future, so I'm not dead.
Yeah.
But if
they can't have a clear view because you're still alive.
Right. This isn't post-mortem.
Oh grief.
Oh grief, right? I think for me that would make it stand out, or I guess like make it very personal to me, and it's something that people can feel. Is the idea that it is authentic and it's organic and it comes from a place that's relatable. I think filmmaking and acting in general, I have to take it back to my craft, is that it's one of the most humane jobs you can have, I guess. And I don't want to call it a job. It's just the representation of art in the human condition. I've always said this before, no one wants to see an actor act, they want to see an actor be. And that element has to carry on to the film. People, whether they're looking for entertainment or escapism or just a good story, even like a good cry, you never know how art will affect somebody. I can always have the headcanon and my reasoning and my message in my film, but as soon as I share my art with somebody, it's transformative. It takes on a new meaning to them. It's personal to them. So I guess when people see one of my films, it's not so much on how I feel about it or how I might think they feel about it. It is about how they specifically interpret the work and what stays with them. You never know. I mean, there could be a piece of dialogue that comes out at the right time when somebody has to hear it, or even like a stage picture where, you know, somebody sees that for the first time, and if anything, it inspires them to pursue film or pursue an art, or even call up a friend, or even say hello to somebody, or help them through a tough time. I think it just makes it so the art itself speaks to them in a way that's very personal to them. And so I want my films to, in a sense, just connect with somebody. And if that happens to be a Kennedy film, then I'm all for it. And that's the whole purpose.
So as an actor, you do a lot of both film and theater.
Yes.
How important do you think, well, first of all, what do you think is the great distinction between theater acting and film acting?
So I was just talking to this with a friend of mine. For me, they're both sides of the same coin. The same fundamentals of acting are there. You still have objective, you still have action, but there's different technique. For instance, on stage, you have to work with a live audience. You're actively hearing the reception to anything that's going on stage, and you have to be loud enough to reach the person in the back, so to say, right? And on film, everything is smaller. Everything's a bit more intimate. The camera's going to capture things that, an audience in a stage won't be able to see. The emotion, the discovery in your eyes, the subtle raise of an eyebrow, the quivering of a lip, like that's something that's going to stay on camera. That's so intimate, and it's something that I really like about film. Whereas stage, it's this instant gratification that you'll get, and it's different every night. People are going to do their line differently, so you have to be really present. And on film, you also do have to be present because people can do something differently. You're just reacting, but that is the fundamental nature of acting. Is you're just reacting to what people are giving you, and it's just on camera. It's just more specific, whereas on stage, you're working with your environment and the rest of your body, because that's what's notable to the audience.
Did you get into this film thing because you love movies, or just because it's something you wanted to do? I want to make this stuff.
I think, as a kid, I would watch TV shows. I was maybe 11 when I started acting, and my mom was just asking me randomly. She's like, "What are you gonna do?" And she was very adamant to know. So I thought about what I did, and I was like, "Oh, well, I like going outside with my friends and pretending, action figures or whatever." And then I told her, I was like, "You know what? I think I want to do acting because I like telling stories. I like being a character." And so I got into the training, and from there, I started loving it. It was sort of natural right off the bat to just kind of roll with things. And as I grew on with my acting craft, I went to college, and I figured out it's more than just base talent. It's more than just wanting to do it. There's a specific philosophy to it as well. It's storytelling. You're embodying a character. I relate it to back in the day when people used to tell stories at a campfire, and they used to get very close together, very warm, and they'd put on these voices. So for me, it's just embodying a story, and you're telling it through the medium of acting.
Great sky spirit that Donka was built.
And you know what?
Tallow fat.
Somebody must have been that gray sky spirit and had a very powerful voice.
That's true.
Yeah. Mm.
What are some things other than film that you're into? What are your other main interests?
So right now I'm kind of doing a foray into music. I started playing guitar in a band. So I'm a rhythm guitarist for Roosevelt Motel. Shout out to Kevin. And I started making my own music as well. I started to produce some music, and right now I'm working on an EP. So I hope to be doing that soon. I think music writing is way different from script writing. Script writing, I'm just yeah, I know what they're gonna say. Music writing, I'm just that sounds stupid. That sounds so fucking dumb. Could I curse? Are you gonna just beep it out?
Go for it.
Cool, yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, music writing is it's a different beast on its own. And I think it's, for me, as much as it is very personal, music is just as personal to me. I've been playing guitar forever. That doesn't mean I'm great, but I've been playing guitar for a really long time. And in the foray into writing music, it's definitely with intention. And I just try to make it lyrical and as personal, but yet as poetic as possible. And I think that's also a challenge. So music for me is something that I'm currently pursuing as well. Yeah, so one of my favorite films of all time is Inside Llewyn Davis. It's a Coen's movie. They made a lot of other ones like No Country for Old Men being a really notable one, but Inside Llewyn Davis is about a folk singer played by Oscar Isaac, who's phenomenal in that film. And for me, that film is about pursuing your dreams and the heartache that comes with it. Also, it's a great character study because Llewyn Davis is his own worst enemy, his own obstacle. And in a way, it does resonate a lot with like somebody who's pursuing a dream in a creative craft, like acting or music or anything that's just very personal to you, and just the dangers that come with kind of going through that and not being able to change. And it's a cautionary tale as much as it's an enjoyable watch. So I recommend that film a lot.
Where were you at in your life when you saw that movie?
I was, I think it was right before the pandemic. So for me, I've always wanted to do the acting thing for like since I was like 11. So it's roughly been 16 years now. And at the time, I was like, I'm not really moving anywhere. I've done a few films, I've done a few plays, but I'm not really taking any initiative in my craft. And I see that movie, and I resonate hard because I'm not going anywhere. Like it feels like I'm not going anywhere. So with this film, it gave me that push in that direction where it's up to me. It is up to me, and as heartbreaking as it is, to maybe not make it or to have things just go in your way or life beat you down, it's not something that I can't get rid of. Acting is my love. Acting is my passion. Acting is who I am. And that's the thing that I feel like I need to pursue. It's not just want. I do it because I have to. And that's what art is to me. That's what my craft is to me. And in many ways, that's how I feel about the message of that movie is. Yeah, acting is something that I have to do.
As an actor, do you have a favorite actor, an idol, or someone whose style you would like to be compared to at some point, or that you take inspiration from?
It's not so much the actor themselves. I think there's a lot of wonderful actors out there, and a lot of like, consistent actors as well. I like actors that try new things, that try different roles. But for me, it's like characters. I really like, I'm not sure if your audience has seen or played Red Dead Redemption 2, but Arthur Morgan is like a character that I would love to play. And it's sort of those complex characters that it takes an actor to really understand the work and really understand characterization and have like a clear objective and depict action in a way that is relatable and organic. And so for me, it's not so much the actor. Like it's always nice to hear when you hear like a profound actor and somebody says, "Oh, you're doing like great work like them," and that's always like acceptable as a compliment. But for me, I'd rather be known for my own work and my own style and my own voice that I put into a role specifically. So I'd rather be known for a character that I play, my work consistency, my own spin on a particular style, the effort that I put into a role. That's something that I'd rather be known for, not so much compared to, which is always nice, like I said, but there's a lot of actors out there that I do admire, but it's more so because I admire their work as a specific character.
So no.
No.
Okay. Good to hear. What's the hardest piece of criticism you've ever had to get about your work, whether it's directing, acting, writing?
I think the hardest piece of criticism I've ever gotten was when I started college. I started taking acting classes in college. Because I had already done my studio training. I had already gone to LA and done auditions. And I thought I was in a good spot. Like I thought I learned my lines and I'm talented. And then I get to college and I think every actor has heard this question, what do you want? And so, I was analyzing my scripts and it was like, oh, well, he wants his girlfriend to come back. And then he brought it a little bit deeper. He's just like, okay, what do you want? What does that look like and how are you going to get it? And I'm reading the script. I'm like, well, it says he does this and this. And the acting professor was like, no, it's not about what the script says. Throw that out for a second. It's about what you as a character want and how you're going to get it. Are you going to push? Are you going to pull? And that's when I realized there's this philosophy to acting. There's this innate humane nature to pursue an objective, and I related it to my actual life. I give credit to acting for me being able to speak to people, to listen wholeheartedly, watch their body language, give what they're giving to me, give that back. It's about acting and reacting, as you'll hear a lot of acting professors talk about. So it went deeper. It just went deeper. And it was more than just learning your lines. It was more than just being present in a scene. It's about actively thinking, making discoveries, and becoming somebody. And so for that moment where he told me, it's not, you're not just talented, you're not doing the work. And I was like, what the fuck? And it took me a moment to actually step back and realize it's not just about the talent. It's not just about how I might feel like I'm pretty good at this. It's not that. I actually knew nothing because I wasn't bringing myself into it. I was just thinking about the outside. I was thinking about how it just looks like, but not so much about how it feels like. So now every time I read for a role or I write something, I think about how it's going to feel.
What is it about, I mean, I'm sure in all practicality, you're here and you're doing stuff here in the Inland Empire just because you have to, you must, you're here.
Right.
Right? Like if if I got the call, I'd be in Hollywood, right?
Not necessarily. I think, LA is LA. Hollywood exists. That is where the business is at. That is where the money's at, so to say. But for me, Inland Empire is home, and it's the home of creatives, and I'm always going to want to do work out here. The nature of an actor in filmmaking is always going to lead you to LA for a job, for a bit of time, but to pursue that original creativity, I believe that's in the Inland Empire. That's home for me. That's the filmmakers around me. That's my community. So whereas maybe I might drive out to LA, I might get some jobs there, I might do some gigs or something, but I'm always going to come back to the Inland Empire because it's the home. It's where I'm most creative. It's where I pursue originality and authentic storytelling. So that's what the IE film community means to me.
Cut.
Thank you.
Brilliant.